Notts County Talk, episode 23 of the Pavis perspective. Another week where I just feel like I've got loads to talk about, plenty to talk about, lots of hard decisions in terms of the squad. Um, but Tom, how are you?
I'm
Busy
all right.
week?
I'm all right. Busy right up until we start to go live. To be honest, it's literally
Me too.
busy.
Me too.
We've got a question in them tonight's questions. Something me and George debate all the time. You know, half time, pre-match. We've got nothing else to really talk about because we don't really get on other than football. Um, Question tonight: what's the most important thing to remember when you're at a game? You know, to keep yourself warm. Is it to
Mm.
wear a hat? Remember your hat. Do you remember your gloves? Do you tuck your shirt in? Or do you have a hot drink? See, plenty of people with flasks, don't you, George? Plenty with flasks.
Yeah,
What do you
a few
do?
hit flasks as well.
So yeah, and that's just you. So obviously, get that in. We'll reveal ours at the end. It's a unanimous decision between us, isn't it? There's one thing you cannot forget to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Cannot forget to do.
say what you will about. I know what you're going to say, but I very vividly remember borrowing your pair of my gloves last week at the game.
Yeah, you had two pairs of gloves, and that's greedy.
You were shaking.
I was shaking. I was in bits. I was in bits. Thank
Poor
you to
lad.
everyone that is joining us tonight. Obviously, as Georgia said, we've got loads to talk about. And it's quite strange. We've actually got a rivalry tonight, haven't we? It's taking our viewers. The skipper,
Oh yeah,
Carl Cameron, just seeing his streaming Call of Duty when it's a
yeah.
Pavis perspective.
What a bloke.
Come on, Kyle. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Right then, as always, um, let's get into it. 6 days ago, when we play. Usually it's that full week. 6 days when we play Barnet. 6 days before that would have been Eastleigh, FA Trophy. How you feeling?
Yeah, all right. It was one of those games that had that real trophy air about it. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel very like overly competitive, I don't think. But we got the job done. 6 changes into the starting 11, and we still grind out a result against a side that we do seem to struggle with a little bit. So yeah, I think a lot of positives to take. Eli getting his double, it's great for him. I'm delighted for him. I don't know if anyone's seen his post match interview, but it's great. You know, it's really good. Real down to earth guy. Just seems like a good guy, and I'm happy for him. You know, he deserves it. He's trained well, and you can see that in a lot of the training videos that Not's put online. He's always in the forefront of those videos, so I think he deserves it. You know, he's worked hard. But how do I feel about the game tomorrow? It's going to be an emotional one, isn't it? I think because
Yeah.
that game's dedicated to Colin Slater, isn't it? So it'll be interesting to see what the club have put on to commemorate him. I think because I think there's going to be a couple of surprises, isn't there?
Yeah, and it also said there's something like further in the pipeline that's just taking a bit more time to sort out. So, yeah, statue renaming or something like that. I think Eastleigh. I think it's hard to measure Eastleigh because we played them. We had 6 or 7 players out. They then play again Tuesday night, get thumped 3-0 by Stockport.
Yeah.
I don't think we can really measure ourselves against them too much. I actually had them down to finishing the playoffs on our pre-season prediction because they signed Jake Hesketh. Used to be at Southampton. Thought it'd be fantastic. It's just not worked for them. And I don't know. I'm not really sure what to make of that game. I mean, it was okay, wasn't it? It was decent entertainment first half. Second half, you nodded off. I've had to nudge you a couple of times. Said, "Well, Eli scored again." Then your top was off, swinging around your head. But other than that, I just think it's a routine FA Trophy game, and we've not had many of them. We usually have something happening, don't we? Penalty shootouts, halfway line goals. So yeah, I think I'm more disappointed with the draw, if I'm honest. Halifax
Yeah.
away.
It's the top of the league, aren't they? Like you literally couldn't have got a worse
On
tie, I don't
paper,
think.
yeah.
Because as far as it goes, as far as the table is concerned, the best team that we could have come up against. But you know, if we're serious about winning some silverware this season, it's a team we're going to have to dispatch. You know, so it's a good test for us, I think, and it'll be interesting to see how both teams prepare for that game, how
Yeah.
seriously they take it. You know.
Well, did you see how the draw panned out? Obviously, I think there's 16 teams left in.
Mm.
When it came down to the final six had Notts, Halifax, Stockport, Wrexham, Boreham Wood, and Cheshunt in it. That's literally like 5 of the top 6 left in the draw at that point. So it could have been even worse. It could have been even worse. But, you know, I really want to get up for it. But then I see that tie and I think, right, it's not that exciting. If we're going to get to the semi-final again and hopefully the final at some point, it's going to be an absolute slog to get there. We'll probably have had the hardest run of anyone.
Yeah.
Just National League after National League. We may as well not, I'm struggling to get up for that one. And it comes at the start of a month where there's 9 games in, from the 12th of Feb to the 12th of March. There's 9 games in there. And there's like...
Some serious games in there.
There's Halifax twice. There's Stockport.
Chesterfield.
Killer. Absolute killer. A few people putting then on that same night that our opponents last week, Eastleigh, lost to Stockport. A few people saying in the chat, with Maidenhead fans, Maidenhead, unbelievably, go and get the win against Stockport. What do you make of that? I mean, this league is unpredictable, obviously, but I didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. Like, shocker of a result, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we were saying in the chat, it went to 2-0, wasn't it? When it went to 2-0, we said, right, this is decent. And as soon as Chesterfield scored, all of us said in the chat, here comes the comeback. And it did. They started the comeback, but unbelievably, Maidenhead won. And do you know what? That while obviously you want Chesterfield to lose because we're Notts fans and we don't really like each other. But I'm sick of having to match teams' results every weekend. Like, we would win a game and you think, oh, fantastic. You look at the other results, Chesterfield won, Halifax won, Boreham Wood have won, Stockport won. Like, I'm just bored of that. Like, I'm relishing to see how we play when we can make up ground on someone above us.
Yeah, me too. And it's a good opportunity tomorrow, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we can make up ground from this week, and we can put pressure on other teams. How often in this league do you play first? If anything, you play last because it's the 5:20 kickoff on BT.
Yeah.
Very few Friday night games. Very, very few Friday night games. So, do you think that'll affect us at all, or do you think there's nothing in us having the opportunity to make ground up? I feel professional enough.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I think we've got a fairly sound squad when it comes to things like that. I mean, it's not really been tested, I suppose, at the minute, has it? But I don't think that's something that would phase the squad too much, and I think they'd be fairly open in saying that it wouldn't phase them too much. But I suppose as the season goes on, only time will tell, you know.
Well, the things that have been thrown at us to sort of phases have been the bid for Cal Roberts. Didn't phase us at all, really.
2 Mars bars and a Twix, I heard.
2 Mars bars, a Twix, and a frost cover. But the things that have been thrown at us so far haven't really done much to derail us. So, what I was thinking earlier, we're six wins on the spin. But it doesn't feel like that, does it? You know, because of all the postponements, it doesn't feel like we're 6 on the spin. It doesn't feel like we've got momentum of 6 on the spin. Do you agree?
Yeah, December was such a strange month, wasn't it? I think, if my memory serves me right, I think we played three games, maybe 4. But in that run, we should have played, I think it's 6 or 7. Like, it's silly, really, isn't it? I'd like to know where we were, you know, how things could have been different if we'd have played Chesterfield that Tuesday before Christmas. That would have been interesting, because we could have really put the pressure on them there. But obviously, it's not panned out that way. But yeah, I totally agree with you. It doesn't feel like we're on the streak that we are on, 6 on the bounce. But you know, I just really hope it continues for as long as possible. I know that's a pretty obvious thing to say as a fan, but I feel like we've got the credentials to do it. You know, we've got a squad that seem to be firing at the minute. They seem to have answers. I think, how many games is it now? Is it 4, 5 that we've gone 1-0 down in and
5.
gone on to win? 5. Yeah, there you go. So you know, it shows good character. You know, we sort of need to squeeze it out of the game for sure, because it's not always going to go that way. But you know, it's things to work on. Not conceding as many goals. But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because it doesn't feel like we're on the run we are, but we are doing really well, aren't we, at the moment? But just get a good run of games together, I think. You know, where it's Saturday, Tuesday, and we're seeing good performances week in, week out. Be a lot happier.
Well, as I said, the 12th of Feb to the 12th of March is Saturday, Tuesday for a month. Literally a month straight. There's some tough games in there. But there's another thing we talked about, the character of the squad and how they're going to be tested. You know, when you're on a winning run, you want it to be Saturday, Tuesday, as we saw at the end of last season when we built momentum. This squad have dealt with not playing Saturday, Tuesday. This squad have dealt with games being called off literally an hour and a half before kickoff. They've dealt with missing days of training because they've been preparing for a game against Dover or Kings Lynn and it not going ahead. So for me, the way that they deal with things is really, it's been very good this season. And I want to just pull this comment up. We won a game in hand, we go 2 behind Chesterfield, yeah. But what I really want to pick up is our wins have gone silently under the radar. All of a sudden, Chesterfield lose. People are talking about Stockport. They're not talking about Notts.
Yeah, let them have it.
Yeah, let them, exactly. Let them have it. And I see on Twitter a lot of people straight into the comments of Chesterfield or straight on Twitter tweeting other teams. I think just leave it. Just let us go for it, I think, personally.
It's crazy, really, isn't it? Because it feels like the first season we came down, everyone was sort of picking us, thinking, oh, they'll bounce back up or whatever.
Teams really disliked us, didn't they, that season?
Yeah, but we seem to really have sort of melted into the background a little bit because we've not been making the headlines with the signings that we've made. And it's kind of refreshing. Do you know what I mean? It's nice that we're going about our business like that and we are going under the radar a little bit more. And just seems to be a lot more of a professional club to me, Notts does at the minute. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing in a way that we are going under the radar, but it is crazy when you think about, you know, the way that people are talking about Chesterfield. You know, so many managers you're seeing now, they're the best team we've played, blah, 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 saying all this stuff. And we're just sat nicely 2 points behind them if we win tomorrow.
Yeah, I couldn't look at it better. Literally, like, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything about us. You know, obviously there's the banter between fans on Twitter, but there's nothing. It's all look at Wrexham and look at the signings they're making. I'm seeing their fans frustrated because they're not bringing players in. You know, if not squad was to stay the same now for the rest of the season, no one leaves, no one else joins, and obviously we don't get injuries. I'm happy with that. We said it last week. Zach Brunt, Ruben Rodriguez, and Kyle Roberts supplying Kyle Wootton. That's unbelievable.
Or Eli Sam.
I know we said a tongue in cheek last week after the Eastleigh video, and we said something like, "What a player we've got," and someone replied straight away saying he's only scored 2 in the cup or something. Didn't really get they were being sarcastic, but you never know. You've been saying for a couple of weeks now. He's coming back into favour, and that takes us nicely onto the first topic we posted underneath our video on social media. So, Andrew, we'll get back to those comments in a minute, and Ian. But who's second now? Who's second choice instead of Wootton?
Yeah,
who's second choice?
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It really depends in the way that Birchton was looking at it, you know. Because it's all right looking at things on the pitch, but there's a lot of factors off the pitch that go into play as well. I mean, training being one of those. Sort of the formality of contracts, you know, like Cairo came in and it sounded like it was a slog to sort of get him in. You know, in his interview said it's taken a long time to get over the line. I know Eli's coming towards the end of his contract now at Notts, isn't it, at the end of this season? So, and I think he's one of the higher paid players at Notts. So do they want to, you know, push to develop him further and see how it goes at the end of the season, or do they want to push to develop Cairo and get a bit more out of that transfer? Because at the end of the day, we paid for Cairo, you know, so it's not something they're just going to want to leave and allow him to become third choice. And, you know, he comes across to me like the type of guy that will train hard and not allow certain things to happen where people think that he's not trying his hardest and things like that. But in terms of on the pitch, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I reckon minutes per goal, Eli Sams can't be too bad.
It can't be. We'll have to get Richard from Notts kind of stats on him.
Yeah, because it can't be too bad. Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't play loads of games, does he? You know, in the games where he does get an extended amount of time on, he does seem to nick a goal. And it might blow up in my face me saying that, but, you know, the games where he starts, I just vaguely remember he seems to score, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It means his first goal is a tap-in, but he's made it himself.
Part of the move. Exactly,
it's
part of the move, yeah.
And he's kept up with play. And the second goal, you've got one chance there.
Do you know
late
what?
On.
We didn't give Ruben any credit for that goal. Like, I watched it back and like the ball's got away from him. He had a bit of a heavy touch. The ball's got away from him, and he sort of slid in to give the assist. Like that was a great assist, to be fair to Ruben. Like we sort of let that one slide a little bit, but what an assist it was from him to it's a lost cause really for me. That was not many players that have gone in like that to sort of get the ball through, but he did, and it's paid off. Like, great assist for Ruben.
Yeah, I feel like with Eli Sam, you don't know how. As a defender, I wouldn't like to play against him genuinely because I don't know what he's going to do. Like he's actually quite fast. I know we've said it before. He's quite quick, and I was speaking to my dad about this. Remember the first game Cairo Mitchell played? He was taking players on down the byline and crossing really well. We thought, unbelievable. Actually, Eli Sam does that when he comes on pretty much. He does do that. And we don't give him credit for that. I think we only gave Cairo the credit because he was a new signing and we thought, oh. And after a couple of games, he just didn't hit it. I mean, he got the double, didn't he, against Tamworth in the replay. But for me, I can't remember if you've already answered this. For me, Eli Sam's second choice now. If I'm looking for a goal, I'm looking to bring someone on to help get the ball to stick up there. I'm taking Eli Sam, I think.
Yeah, I think I would as well. It's a strange one, isn't it, though? Because you look at Cairo, like he's done all right in a couple of National League teams that he's gone to. He played for Kingsland, didn't he, and Chesterfield. He's done all right at both of those clubs, more so Kingsland. But it seems to be the way that when we sign players, like remember Effiong, how poor he was for Notts.
Yeah.
When we seem to sign players that are used to being sort of probably main strikers at the clubs they are, and they come in and they're not main striker, they tend to not do so well, do they? So it'll be interesting to see how that whole thing develops because I feel like Eli feels like he's got a lot to prove, and he did well. Like it's easy to get carried away with it, but he did really well in that game. I thought a lot of improvements to see in his game.
Yeah, definitely. Chris says one thing's for sure: if Sam Jordan of a National League club, he'd probably score every week. Probably would. That's just how it goes, isn't it? But I do agree with what you say. This whole model is about making money. It's about making money to get us better, to make more money to get us better, sort of thing. So, that 15 grand investment, whatever it was on Cairo Mitchell, that's not just going to be thrown away. They're going to want returns on that. Obviously, they're going to take some losses this season and the previous seasons, investing to try and get us promoted. But I can't. Yeah, the way, like you said, Bertrand went on about it. I think. Yeah, they're going to try and put him in somehow. But I mean, he could explode back on like Eli Sam has. Well, I say explode. Yeah. I mean, he scored 2 in the FA Trophy. He's gone. George has left me. I'll get some questions while I wait for George to come back then. First time he's ever left me on the Pavis perspective, which is upsetting. I'm going to go back to Tashmanga question then. So I think a few of you have been chatting in the chat. So Andrew here has said, Tashmanga reputed has a release clause in his contract. It might be out of Chesterfield hands if a bid comes in. If there is a release clause, it's going to be quite a lot more than what they paid for him. But I have heard some Premier League and Championship clubs have been looking at. Have we got George back? You left me.
I don't know what happened there. It just said
we've had 20 minutes of the episode since.
Sorry, lads.
Unbelievable. We're just on to Tashmanga point then. Premier League and Championship clubs have been reportedly looking at him. Do you believe that, George?
Well, the article that I saw was the Sun, so.
Oh, that's it then. But if there's a release clause and he went, for me, that massively damages him because they're looking at Joe Quigley from Yeovil apparently. And I said this, Joe Quigley comes in, he's not a League 2 level striker. So it's just like, it doesn't seem a sensible signing. I don't think he's good enough to get them up. So
it makes you wonder, doesn't
it?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I heard Hearts are quite in quite a serious position.
It'd be really interesting. Well. They've got a Sante, haven't they? I watched the highlights from the Maidenhead game and missed a couple. I know he scored. He missed a couple though, but I did look at his stats, and in fairness, his stats for this season, 22 games, I think 21 goals. It's like 107 touches in the opposition box. That's got to be more than any of our strikers. I mean, that's 5 a game in the opposition box. I know we like to play tippy-tappy football, but yeah. If you're Tashmanga, you're going to Hearts, aren't you? You're going to Hearts.
Yeah, I'd probably weigh up my options and see what the crack is.
Yeah, but if that's the only one, I think so.
Yeah, you probably would, wouldn't you?
Jordan says Hearts haven't spent more than 200 grand in 5 years. They're saving up, Jordan, for Tashmango.
Yeah, they saw it coming.
Yeah, they did. They literally been planning it. Yeah, but yeah, someone said 350 grand release clause. If so, they'll have a challenge holding it. 350 grand for some League One clubs is not. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. Once you get out of the Premier League, it's surprising how much money drops down. You know, you've got teams spending like 90, 100 million in the Premier League, and you're lucky if teams will spend a few million in the Championship. But for some of those teams in League One, 350k is okay. Like, it's all right. It's not too bad. You've got big teams in there. You've got teams with a bit of money as well. So, yes, it'll be really interesting to see what happens, because obviously I'm sure the transfer window is like, for National League clubs, it's pretty much non-existent, isn't it? Like, you can buy players. I don't think you can buy players all year round, but it seems to just come in and out. For the EFL clubs, it's more rigid. So, 11 days left, 10 days left after this. It's going to be interesting, because we could still lose players as well.
Mm.
You know, you've got Carl Roberts scoring hat tricks.
Yeah,
Ruben doing what he's doing.
The thing is as well about Tashmango, like all of this stuff coming out, you know, you don't know how true it is or how not true it is, but it's got to affect player a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like thinking, I could play, for instance, in the Scottish Premiership at a higher level. You know, that's got to distract you a little bit, hasn't it, from your current squad? Maybe it's going to have an effect. So who knows? Like, even if he doesn't get the move, he might see a couple of weeks or a month where he's a little bit off colour. Who knows?
You never know. And you've got to factor in taking things out of looking at the players' like needs and wants, because he's been in the National League a while and he's done it every season. Like, if a team came in for him of a decent size, you probably want to go. Yeah. Jack says, do you think the transfer news got to Ruben's head? No, I think he's all right. I think he's fine. I think he was decent against Kings Lynn, but I think Messi would have struggled on that pitch until he adjusted. So
yeah, no, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, no, I think he's okay. To be fair,
yeah, I think he's fine.
Right, I want to have a bit of a rant.
Oh no,
I want a bit of a rant here, and it's not about you leaving me in the lurch then to go and have a cup of tea. It's about Patterson. I'm fuming. I'm fuming. A loan deal, since I've been watching football, a loan deal isn't you have him for a couple of weeks, we'll have him back, we'll send him back to you. No, we're not going to send him back to you, actually. We'll keep him for a bit longer. You can have him back, Ben. Actually, no, you know, wait another couple of weeks. We'll take him back after a month. It's not that. That's not what a loan deal is. I get COVID has changed everything. It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I get it.
Silly,
and I get it. And Birchnell sat there in the conference saying, yeah, fair play to Sunderland. They've had really good dialogue with us. But it's not good for us. It's literally not good. We sat here last week talking about this, and we said, yeah, we'll be back for Barnet. I bet Birchnell was sat there thinking, yeah, we'll be back for Barnet. And he's not back for Barnet. Is he going to be back for Tuesday? What if he comes back Tuesday morning? Can he play straight away?
I reckon he probably could, you know.
It
is daft. He's being pulled pillar to post, isn't he?
He's a young player.
Yeah. He just needs to be given that sort of like loan move, doesn't he? And just let him play as much as he can. Surely that helps development more than being pulled back and forth. Like, he's losing time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To develop.
Chris has made a good point, to be fair. We can't moan too much as we need to keep the great relationship. Yeah, I mean, our loan system, the way we're loaning players is fantastic. And if we didn't keep that relationship, Chris, good point. You know, we probably wouldn't have got him back if we'd have moaned about him taking him. It's just, as a fan, when we can moan, it's so frustrating. Like, I want the best player we've got in that position to play in that position. You know, it's okay now that it's happening when we're playing Kings Lynn and we're getting those good results. But what if this happens in that month-long run? You know, when we play against Chesterfield and Stockport and Halifax.
Yeah. It's disruptive, isn't it?
That's my little rant. It's annoyed me.
Cool.
Yeah? Loan moves should be... I'm not going to talk about it anymore. If you haven't voted on the poll, got a lot of votes so far, 50. What is the most important thing to remember to keep warm at a game? So if you were going tomorrow night, what's the most important thing? You're thinking, can't forget my hat. can't forget my gloves, got to tuck in my shirt, or got to have a hot drink, a flask, or got to have a Bovril at half time, cup of tea at half time.
Jordan likes a Bovril.
Jordan likes a Bovril. Jordan gets more mentions on this channel than half the players.
Lovely lad.
Yeah, lovely lad. Ian, what do you think tomorrow's attendance will be due to being dedicated to Uncle Cole?
Good question. I think it'll be higher than your standard. I reckon tipping towards 7,000. I don't think it'll quite reach 7,000, but
I think it'll be a lot. I do think it'll be a lot. I don't know. I think it could be. I agree with you. I don't think it'll quite get 7. But you know what? Having a game on a Friday night, I can't wait for a Friday night game. Finish work on the Friday. Looking forward to it all week. The only thing it has the ability to make or break your weekend, a Friday night game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But I think with this being dedicated as it is to Colin Slater, and the fact that it's a Friday night and it doesn't happen very often, and I think the attendance will be good. I think it won't quite hit 7,000, but it will hit.
Yeah,
it'll hit 6,000. Have we already mentioned this? There's quite a few famous faces in the hospitality, isn't there?
There is, yeah. Neil Warnock being the headliner.
Yeah. So if you fancy hospitality, I don't even know if it's too late.
I think it is.
Isn't it? Is it too late?
Yeah. I rang earlier and not heard anything back, so I'm assuming they're full.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing it's pretty full. Vuvuzelas on a rattle, get the atmosphere going. But no, I think it'll be really good, and I think it'll be, it seems to be a celebration of Colin Slater as well, which I think it will be. There's so much planned. Fair play to the club; they've done so much, and I think there's going to be a flag in the Kop. Obviously, there's the things that are going to be happening after this game. There's a minute's applause, which I always like a minute's applause. We had the minute's silence last weekend, but minute's applause. Yeah, it's just gonna it's gonna be emotional, but it's gonna be special as well. Hang about. Ian Birchall said double socks. That should have been on there as well. Double socks. I mean, that's the standard, isn't it? I wear double socks to games. Yeah. You wear double socks to bed, don't you?
No.
You're not?
No,
that's not you. Oh, that's Jordan, I think. Ellie says I'm going to my first night match tomorrow. Quite excited, hoping for a great game. For me, you can't beat a game at night after work under the lights. I know I'll say it. I'll probably say under the lights like 15 times this episode, but under the lights is fantastic. Under the lights, just when those lights are on, you're under the lights in the winter as well. It just makes it special, doesn't it? So
it does, yeah. You just got to make sure you've got your hat, gloves, shirt tuck, hot drink, and double socks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's any tips I can give you, Ellie.
So the reverse fixture then, George. 5-0 opening game of the season.
Yeah.
0-0 at half time.
Yeah.
Pretty much the perfect second half.
Yeah. Don't get much better than that, does it?
Do you see that happening again?
Can't see why not.
No,
they're a different outfit now, aren't they? They've got rid of Harry Kewell as well, which is, I think, helps.
Automatically makes anyone better, really.
Yeah. Well, don't want to be too harsh, but I totally agree with that. But yeah, no, different outfit now. They're going to be a bit tougher, but I know they've got a few injuries, aren't they? They're a bit light on players at the minute, so that might come into factor. I do think we'll win, though. I do think we'll win.
I think we'll win, but I think it'll be tricky. I don't see it being easy. They held Chesterfield till half time, 0-0, conceded 4 in the second half. So maybe they're a second half side. We're pretty much a second half side. I think we've scored the fewest goals in the first 30 minutes, haven't we? Of any game.
I think that's right, yeah.
But I don't see it being easy. Do you think we'll keep that clean sheet? Because Bertrand was asked earlier about clean sheets. Obviously, we've gone behind. We've already said in the last 5 games we've been behind. Do you see a clean sheet, or do you not?
I really do. Yeah, I think it's going to have been drilled into them all week. They've had all week to work on it, talk about it, highlight weaknesses in why we're conceding. It was quite disappointing to see us concede from a corner. I think
that was shocking.
Yeah, everyone was sort of sleeping on that player on the near post, but it's bound to happen. From what I remember, it's the first one for quite a while, so you sort of let it slide. But as a whole, we seem to be getting better defending corners, don't we, and defending free kicks.
Do you remember that spell we had where set pieces were just the death of us?
It was about 4 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was poor.
Yeah.
It was poor. Every corner you were sort of biting your nails, thinking they're going to score. Now we're the threat from corners quite often.
Yeah.
Something in the chat has caught my eye. Yeah? Chris has said, "Hope all the lights have been thoroughly tested." So if you weren't at the Easter game, we're talking about under the lights. One of the lights was flashing mid-game.
Yeah.
The one
they came out late, didn't they?
Yeah, and they came out late. It was one between the Pavis and the family stand was flashing mid-game, and they did. They came out like 5-6 minutes late. So, Chris, get onto the club. Say, excuse me, have you tested those lights? So, Ian says Barnet. He thinks Barnet will try to park the bus, defend high, and try to score from set plays. Wing backs will be key. I feel like with our wing backs, we can push them back. I feel like sides don't have the ability to. When your wing backs are that good, you know, Taylor's pretty good, and then Richardson for me is it's a little bit better than Taylor. There's no real out. There's no way to get out. And I've seen when we've been caught up the pitch, Richardson, they can have 5 or 6 yards on him, can't they?
Mm.
And that's something that's like literally invaluable. So I agree with that, but I think wing backs will push them back, and you know you can't really break on a side with just your strikers and midfield going forward. You're going to need help on the wings. So, yeah. I think you're right, Ian. I think they will try and sit back. But, you know, if we get an early goal, which we're not very good at, they're going to have to come out. If not, we can ask Eli to stand in the corner with a touch. Yeah. I think Eli defending corners now, you know. So let's go over. I want Patterson. I'm not going to get Patterson.
Not going to get Patterson.
I'll have Slocum in goal then.
Slocum, yeah.
Back three. Brinley. Lacey. Kyle Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Richardson.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Did Taylor play against Eastleigh? No, it was Parsons, wasn't it, against Eastleigh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Taylor came on though, didn't he? Or did
he did, yeah. He did.
Yeah. 6 days ago, George. I've got so much in it. So much in my
brain. I know, yeah. I've been to sleep since then.
Midfield.
Palmer,
Yeah,
Vincent.
the rest.
Yeah, Palmer, Vincent, and Cal.
Okay, I agree.
Up top, Wharton and Ruben.
No Eli.
No.
No Eli. Yeah, Wharton and Ruben. I agree with that team. And that's go on.
I think he's got to do it consistently now, Eli, hasn't he? Given the chance, he's got to show that he should be starting over whoever you think he should be starting over, you know. He's got to prove it on the bigger stage. Like, he's done it, and he's proved some doubters wrong, I think. But now he's got to do it in the league for me.
Yeah, we need a couple of heavy wins to get our goal difference better. That would be key at the end of the season. It will. Charlie says, I would have started Brunt. Feels like he'll be thriving in a game like this. Yeah, if you want someone to open the gap. But that's what I mean. We can't even fit Brunt in the side.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Who do you drop for Brunt? And how's it fair to drop any of the players of the positions that he'd be filling? You know, you can't drop Cal.
You can't. Yeah, you can't drop Ruben.
Just scored a hat trick 2 games ago. Can't drop Ruben. You can't drop Vincent because he's
Vincent.
He's Vincent. Yeah, and Palmer's just non-league David Silva.
You love that, don't you? Where's your mate Francis?
Who?
Francis. You love Francis, don't you?
No, yeah, you know, I kind of forgot about him, but this is another thing. We've got strength in depth now. You know, he's firing, he's solid, and to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised to see him start. You know, because he offers a little. You'd be surprised to see him start.
If he started, I'd be walking up the steps to Pavis to my seat, and I turn around and I see him starting. I'd be like this. I'd be like that. There's no way he's starting. If Francis starts, I'll be gobsmacked. I'll be absolutely gobsmacked. Francis is not starting tomorrow.
The agenda's disgraceful.
It's not an agenda. It's just common sense.
No, I think Francis is class.
Yeah, but he's not starting.
What game was it for Wrexham? Where he was just impeccable.
Was it Kings Lynn when he was pulled off at half time?
Yeah, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Pulled off at half time.
Harsh.
No, I get it. He's a good player, and he did play really well against. I think it was Wrexham, but there's no way he's starting. I think he's nowhere near the level of Palmer and Vincent. And then I think for this home game we go attacking. Ellie says no way he's starting. I agree with Ellie. I've agreed with the whole video. No way he's starting. Or Chris says go 3-6-1 with a midfield of Brunt, Palmer, Ruben, Cal, Vincent, and Francis. The only problem there, Chris, is Francis ain't starting.
Oh dear.
No, I can't see it. I can't see it. Do you know what? Alan said that. I was just about to go to that point. He says it's a squad game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying there's 9 games in a month. This is where our squad could literally it could be so key. You can rotate it because if it came to it and you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, and Ruben swapped in for Brunt, you'd have no problems. And I know I'm kind of pulling a leg on winding up there, but if Francis came in for someone, you wouldn't really have much to really say about that, would you?
No, I'd be over the moon for the lad.
And I think you like him too much, over the moon for the lad. But honestly, I think that month could be saved by the way of recruiting the squad we've got if they can stay fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Chris talked about a back four. Went to the back four in the second half against Kings Lynn. Destroyed him.
Yeah, absolutely destroyed him.
We called our vlog the second half masterclass. And if you've got time to go and read one of the comments on there for Kings Lynn fan, you'll make your day. You know what comment I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, literally, as soon as you said that title, that comment popped up into my head and made me laugh.
I'll try and find it, actually. It's quite a funny comment. You put
let them find it. Let them find it. They can find it. We'll get the views.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I mean, I will read one sentence out from his long one. It says, you only beat a part-time club who consists of a builder, a postman, a teacher, and someone that works at McDonald's. He goes on. They've been up since 6 a.m. I'll let you read the rest. Yeah, it's a good comment. I mean, talk about rattled. He put it on the day after the game, I think. So, yeah, just makes me laugh. Still no fans. We've had nowhere near as many fans as when we beat Wrexham coming on and saying how poor and tin pot knots were. Before we go on to our result, though, Charlie says, would you extend Parsons' loan? Yes. As cover. Because Dion has now been out that long. He can't be match sharp. I don't even know. When the last time Dion played a match?
Honestly, I can't remember. He's been out for so long, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's a weird one, really, because you don't really know what's wrong with him, do you? All we know is he's a little bit ill, isn't he? But he's at game, so it can't be too...
Yeah. And if we weren't as spoilt for choice, or weren't as spoilt by how well Richardson's been doing and how good Brunt looks to be, and how good our loan signings have been with Patterson, you'd say that Parsons has been really good. He just gets because he had COVID, I think, didn't he? So he missed the game. He just gets forgotten about a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's been good. He's a positive player. So
yeah, he has been good.
He likes to drive forward. Just likes to drive forward. Okay, then. So start to think about, if you're watching the video, your predictions for the game, score predictions. I've been asked about Weirdstone preview. Because the game's on Friday, we were debating whether to do a Sunday preview for Weirdstone, just to give it that little gap. So if you would like to see a Sunday Weirdstone preview, oh my gosh, a Sunday Pavis perspective, you don't get them very often. If you'd like a Sunday Pavis perspective, just let us know in the chat. Ian says we're vlogging tomorrow. Ian, I know we've won 8 out of 8 games of vlog, but we're not vlogging tomorrow. We are not vlogging tomorrow. We're saving that up for another game. Okay. So, George, I will go first.
Go on then.
I think it will be tough, and I think it will be Notts County 2, Barnet 0. I'm going Kyle Wootton and Zach Brunt off the bench. I think they'll frustrate us for a while and they'll sit him. They will definitely sit him.
Yeah. I'm going to go 3-0 Notts.
Go on.
I think it's probably going to be one of the best displays of football we've seen at Meadow Lane this season. 11v11 anyway. I'm saying Wotton to get one, Eli and Ed Francis to get one off the bench.
Okay. I mean, You just admitted he's not going to be starting. So
Serious.
cheers for that. What has been your best performance then at home? Mine's been Stockport, I think. Completely nullified them.
Yeah, that was definitely.
Completely. And I think that gets forgotten.
Yeah. No, I think that was good. Yeah, no, that was probably the best. But I think, Wrexham, I know it's against 10 men, and it sort of puts a grey cloud over it, doesn't it? But it was a very good performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I probably agree with you, Stockport.
Stockport was good. So, Keane goes 3-0 Notts. 3-0 Notts. 4-0. Wotton and Eli Brace, that'd be nice. George, here's one for you. 6-1, Chicks and hat trick, Big Sam Brace.
You know what? There's some certainties in life, and Callum put commenting Chickson or Eli Sam hat trick is one of those certainties.
It's one of them, isn't it? It doesn't. Well, it's not a Pavis perspective without it. Callum, we
It's
salute
not.
you.
It's really not. Thanks, Callum.
3-0 Notts, Wotton, Vinny, and Palmer. Palmer's got to get that goal. He has to get that goal. A few people saying they'd like the Sunday video. Luke says 3-0 Notts, Wotton, Vincent, Eli. Chris 4-1. There's a few more. 3-0, 3-1. We've got a 4-0. So much positivity. 4-0. And to finish it off, a couple of these hashtags: Sunday Pavis perspective, Sunday Pavis perspective. If not, go on to lose this game. I'm not sure people will want the Pavis perspective, but we thought with it being a Friday, there's always that possibility of a Sunday if you would like one. Right, George, before we finish, the poll.
I'll read out the results.
Go on then, read out the question again for anyone that's just joined us.
What is the most important thing to remember to keep warm at a game? 43% say a hat. It's a large percentage, that is.
Yeah.
It's one less than 44%. 45. Oh, it's gone up to 44%. Gloves, 29%.
Yeah.
Shirt took 9%. Hot drink, 18%. So,
shall I reveal what ours is every time?
Yeah.
And it's the first comment on the whole video, and I'm going to see if I can go back and find it. It's the first comment on the whole video, and it's come from Jordan. Lovely lad. He knows what it's about. Shirt tuck, tried and tested. George, you can't beat a shirt tuck, can you? There's 9% of people that have voted shirt tuck. Heroes. Makes the difference, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It just stops that draft, doesn't it?
It does. We're like two old men. We'll walk up the steps to our seat in the Pavis. First thing I wanted to say hello to him, I say, George, your shirt tucked in? Give me a little nod, and we can go about our day. We can go about a game knowing full well we're not going to get our backs cold. Unbelievable. And if you've not done a shirt tuck before, I'm fairly sure you all will have. Goodness sake, do it tomorrow night. It's going to be bitter cold.
Bitter cold,
as we say. But it's got to be a shirt tuck. That 9%. We might even. I'll tell you what. George was even talking about bringing out a Notts County Talk vest, weren't you? Just for people to tuck in.
Yeah, it's extra long, so you can tuck it in.
Extra long vest. Thermal long johns, future of football. I will not. Yeah, someone's worn long johns.
I'm going to tell you, Tom wears long johns all the time.
I like literally games.
When we used to do previews at Tom's house, I'd go to Tom's house and he'd answer the door just in long johns.
Ridiculous comment to make, and I think we'll end it on that because it's absolutely ridiculous. If you like a Sunday Pavis perspective, let us know, tweet us, leave a comment. I know a few people have said they would like one. Andrew coming in with the scientific facts: 80% of body heat loss through the head. We can't really argue with science, but we're giving it a go. 11% if you are going to game tomorrow night, enjoy it. I know it's going to be an emotional one with obviously the tributes for Colin Slater. Also, if you would like a Sunday Pavis perspective, as I've just said, let us know. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It helps out massively. And don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel.